now you're live on Truth Wanted. You're our last call. What's going on, Bob?
Hey, how's it going? Guess I got lucky at the end there, huh?
Got lucky at the end there. You made it. You made it on the last call for calls. So what's going on? How can we help?
One of the reasons I call this show is it says Truth Wanted.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that that's what I've been pursuing most of my life, some kind of truth.
Aren't we all? Not true. Not all of us. Anyway.
Well, recently I've come upon something that I'm not sure that that it's possible for us all to own stuff, right? I mean, I don't want to say I'm highly skeptical of that, and I really don't see any evidence. And I think it kind of is a similar realm that religion is.
The concept of owning things. Are you saying is like a religious concept?
Well, it seems to exist in a similar way.
I want to say that like ownership is subjective to a degree, right? So like the idea of, oh, I own this piece of land. Like, what does that really mean? Because like one, there's tons of biological life that's already there and was there before you got there. And also like, I live in the middle of Austin. I guarantee there were some native populations that were around here that this land was definitely taken from, if not right where I'm standing, pretty close nearby. So why do I have more rights to this land than the people who are descendants of, those tribes? It does seem kind of arbitrary on some level. I do agree with you there.
Yeah, well, I think it's totally arbitrary. That's the point.
Yeah.
Those people that, as far as I can tell, it's not within our abilities to own anything. That's what it is, basically.
Not own anything. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Jesus?
Well, if I'm like sitting here in front of my computer,
yeah,
I said the very words that I can't do. There is no real relationship between me and my computer, other than just what people have subscribed to.
Yeah, other than like a legal relationship, I guess. Yeah, that's the only kind of...
Yeah, well, whatever relationship, there is no relationship. I mean, I'm looking around in my apartment, and I'm surrounded by all this stuff, and I have no relationships. I cannot demonstrate any relationship to any of it.
I don't know about the... I don't know. I want to hear Jesus' take. Jesus, you go ahead.
Well, Bob, you kind of blew my mind, man. That's a really interesting concept. One thing I like to think about is just the behavior itself of possession, I guess, or of possessing something. I always like to look at the animal kingdom for things like this, because there always seems to be an example of a human trait or something that we feel is unique to us as a species, when in fact it's not. And you can usually find something in nature that's doing the very same thing that we thought was perhaps just unique to us humans. And I'm sure I've read somewhere about, otters that favor a specific rock, and they use that one rock for like their whole life because it's their lucky rock that they use to break clams with, or something along that lines. And
wait a minute, not their lucky rock.
Well, not their, they have no concept of luck, but it's theirs. It's their preferred.
No concepts, right?
Right. Well, I wonder what's going on through their mind. What is it that
That's why I don't think this is a good example, because we don't know, right?
Right, we don't.
What's going on through their minds.
If you look at like ape populations, for example, going back to this, like Coco the gorilla had like toys and other things that they played with and that they considered kind of theirs. And if that was taken away from them,
wait a minute, they didn't consider it theirs. There you go.
Why not? Why not?
Well, because you can't use that. You don't know that they consider anything theirs.
If you observe them
Obviously,
directly communicating,
well, it seems like they have some connection to it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they get some kind of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. That's a relationship with an object.
Yeah.
If you get an enjoyment out of it, right? I mean,
right?
that's how I see it.
And understanding that object still exists when you see it or when you don't. If that object leaves the room, you know, do you still think, you know? And Coco was definitely demonstrated the, you know, an arbitrary, you know, beyond an arbitrary memory of, you know, like I remember the kitten, for example, that died.
Had the kitten,
and and Coco was just like letting it out, like I'm, you know, was
expressing sadness that like it was taught to be able to express. You know, like this wasn't the trainer wasn't saying, "Oh, say this to me now about this thing." It was saying this was a kind of an original concept for them that they were expressing their own feelings through. And even we don't even have to go to apes. I mean, my cat has a favorite mouse toy that's definitely theirs. If I try to take it away from him when he's playing, he's gonna fight me on it. You know. So I don't know. I have to disagree with you, Bob. I think there is a relationship that we have with objects, even as people, but I still agree that it is subjective. I just think that to say that there's no relation, I don't know if I go that far. I think we can demonstrate that, yeah, people have relationships with objects. It's whether or not those relationships are good or worth having. That might be a question we have to examine. I don't know, but what do you think? Bob, you still there? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what to say other than I don't see necessarily that. Well, I see that, you know, objects, we find that they're important, and we enjoy various things. We use them for uses and so forth like that. I see that there's a relationship there, but through that process, there's no idea that they're ours, that they belong to us. They're, you know, that's the thing about it.
It's definitely all in our minds. We're definitely not going to point to some objective outside source that says this Android phone belongs to Dan. You know, that's not going to be a thing. But, you know, we can still recognize the subjective concepts there and, you know, choose to acknowledge them if we wish. And there's an argument to be had whether or not we should recognize it in some situations. But
what about, I mean, that phone does not belong to anybody. It exists in space in the same way that we do. It doesn't belong to a damn person. Nobody.
I mean, I'll take it. I can use a new phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you try to take my phone, Bob, I'll try to take it back from you because I think I own it.
That's the thing. That's this. I was thinking about this before I got on the line. This is dangerous information. People don't want to hear this.
It's definitely, well, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I mean,
there's so much based upon it in the world. If somebody decided, nope, it's not possible. There is no relationship. So we got to stop with this bullshit, you know?
I agree with you that people have died over owning stuff. That's out of the question. Probably more than any other kind of death. I don't know. I don't know if I can prove that, but it's got to be up there. Top 5.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
property in general or land.
Property, land, you know, identity even. Because like we can consider that in some way a kind of ownership, you know, and threats to that identity. But I don't know. This is all the time we have for this call, Bob. But I mean, hopefully you heard our point of view. I see what you're trying to say, but I think at the end of the day, I'm still going to say like, hey, like, yeah, this is a subjective relationship, sure, but it's not that there's no relationship. There is a relationship. Its legitimacy might be up the question, though, right?